Studio, we welcome to the program Kelly Bennett.
Without flaw. I'm proud. That worked. Morning, guys.
All right.
How are you?
Well, what's going on, Kelly? Tell us all about it. We got elections coming up, as you know. We've been talking about that.
Tuesday. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about our election coverage for Tuesday night.
Sure.
The SuperTalk Mississippi news team is going to be busy getting the results in for you on Tuesday night with updates throughout the night. And then Wednesday morning, I'm going to be here in my chair early in the morning, making sure to give you the results first thing.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Just in case you wake up a little later, we'll repeat them for you through the morning.
Okay.
So you can tune in Wednesday morning to find out.
Okay. Any expectations on your part at this point? Have you seen any polls or heard any feedback that would be more official in nature? What do you think?
I don't know, Gerard, I love how you get me to try to guess what voters are going to do on Tuesday. But I have no clue. I don't make prognostications. And I know the most contested races, of course, it's got to be the lieutenant governor's race between McDaniel and Delbert Hosemann. Interesting, Ted Cruz came out and endorsed McDaniel yesterday. Sure
did. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we actually talked about it because it harkened me back to the 2016 presidential election when Chris McDaniel supported Ted Cruz in the primary. And they actually campaigned together in the state of Mississippi in 2015 and leading up to the 2016 election. Rhino recalled them visiting Tupelo, and I actually found a photo of Senator Cruz and McDaniel together in Tupelo. So, but yeah, that was big news. In the meantime, Senators Cindy Hyde-Smith and Roger Wicker have pledged their support, thrown their support behind Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann. In fact, at a local political event here Wednesday, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith told the attending crowd of some 200 or so that the lieutenant governor is pro-life. That's been a very controversial issue that has been hung on the lieutenant governor by Chris McDaniel.
You know, that's a big thing that we did cover this week. We talked a little bit about these political action committees or PACs coming in, buying ads during political season. And those ads are what are responsible for a lot of the smear stuff and the mudslinging that you're hearing, not necessarily the candidates. And they've talked about that. You had or Gallo had Secretary of State Michael Watson on earlier this week talking about it.
Paul did.
They're not even following the campaign finance laws, and it's not being enforced, and it's kind of creating this influx of that kind of activity.
It's going to be a bigger issue in our state, the violation of various campaign finance laws and the firewall that's supposed to exist between a campaign, a candidate, and political action committees. That seems to be getting a little fuzzy as well.
Yeah. Another big story we covered for you this week, it all went down yesterday. And I got to tell you, kudos to the other members of the news team. We worked so in sync yesterday. So you had Caleb Sailors out at the courthouse and at the press conference, and you had Alyssa ready to put stuff online. And then, of course, I was in the anchor seat at that point when the verdicts started coming in. This is all in regard to the Rankin County Sheriff's Department and the guilty pleas of 6 former law enforcement officers, 5 of which served in his department, that beat, tortured, and sexually assaulted 2 black men in January of this year. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of these stories today because the Sheriff Brian Bailey has made a lot of changes since this occurred in January to keep it from happening again. One of the things I think they announced in the press conference yesterday, the sheriff said he was surprised to find when he arrived on scene, they didn't have their body cams on. And
Right.
there was a law that allowed that to happen, or a policy that allowed that to happen. He's already changed that, so that won't happen again. They're going to start doing random body cam checks and taser checks on the officers in his department. And it's just, I think even the sheriff was surprised by the details of what occurred.
And he conducted a press conference as well, did Sheriff Brian Bailey, and it got somewhat emotional for him. And he was asked if he would resign. He said, no, he's not resigning.
Basically, it sounds like he wants to fix the problem. And he said during the press conference, he didn't say it in these exact words, but his biggest mistake was trusting his officers to do what they had pledged to do and sworn to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you certainly can't be everywhere, but that's what you have those cameras for. And,
That's true.
You know, so they messed up by not having those things on and active.
Yeah, and if you want more details on this story, there's a lot more detail than we can give you here. Just log on to supertalk.fm. We'll have them for you. Gas prices, Gerard, they're up again. They're not going down anytime soon, sadly.
Right.
And I know you and I, because I listen to your show often, are really wishing that they would open up the domestic energy supply and get these gas prices back down. But now Saudi Arabia is saying they're going to cut off production. So right now, the average for a gallon of regular in Mississippi is at $3.83, and we're probably going to see it keep going up.
$3.83, really? Is that the lowest grade
I'm
of
sorry,
regular?
that's the national average.
That's the
in
national average,
Mississippi,
right.
It's $3.33.
Which I think typically we are lowest of the states because we have a very low fuel tax, which is a big part of the price of gas. So it's approaching $6 in California a gallon, which has the highest.
How scary is that? Can you imagine?
And they have to travel in their cars a lot too in California. A lot of folks do. You got to drive for the most part.
Is it rural like we are?
It's not that it's rural. It's just that there are a lot of people. It's just big, you know. So you have a lot of people that live far away from work because they can't afford housing that maybe is next to their work. Like, for example, the city of I know this is way off the subject. I read where the city of San Jose, very, very expensive cost of living. There's not a police officer in the San Jose Police Department that lives in the city of San Jose because they can't afford it.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very expensive. They don't make enough money. It's crazy. And my guess is there's probably no other public workers that work for the city that can live in the city. So they have to travel.
Well,
that's the point.
When gas prices go up, it raises the cost of everything. Because how do your goods get to the store?
Yeah, and oil, of course, is used in the production of so many other products as well. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true too.
Could go to it's what $82 a barrel. It could go to $100 before the end of the year. We could be looking at $4, $5 gas in Mississippi.
Yeah, Bidenomics is working. Right?
It's crazy. It's what he tells us. He and the vice president are proclaiming that everywhere.
Yeah. You want some happier news while we're talking about how much money we're spending at the gas pump?
Please.
The Mega Millions jackpot for tonight has grown to an estimated dang it, I'll say it right, Gerard. $1.25 billion. That's the fourth largest in the game's history. The Powerball jackpot for tomorrow night's drawing is at $1.24 million. The Mississippi Match 5 jackpot, which is pretty popular, that's back at $50,000 for Saturday's drawing.
That's a bunch of money. $1.2 billion. 1.35. I just got a text from Meg Anderson at the Lottery Corp, so it just went up is what happened. So,
good. And it probably will go up even more before the drawing tonight.
Yeah, that is a big old jackpot. I do recommend to folks, while we're talking about that, there's an app, I've said this before on the program, called Lotto. You can download, and I found it to be the most helpful the best user interface of all the apps, that you can immediately get a splash page that says, here's what the jackpots are for the 2 big multi-state games, just right off the bat. And then all the Mississippi the Mississippi drawdown games are listed as well. So it's really pretty cool app. So maybe you going to play? Maybe you win.
Oh, yeah. I'm just trying to decide how many tickets to buy.
Well, I look forward to congratulate you when you win the big jackpot, Kelly.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you joining us and giving us all the scoop in Mississippi. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet.
Kelly Bennett, multimedia journalist, SuperTalk Mississippi.